What's good, y'all? It's your boy MT, and I'ma hop straight into this shit because I got some shit I want to get off my chest. You know, normally I keep it TV, anime related, but today I gotta complain about some shit, bro. So, a lot of y'all don't know this about me, unless of course you follow me on Twitter, but I am actually a pretty big wrestling fan. And here goes some of y'all in the comments. Oh my god, wrestling is fake! It's not real! It's childish. Childish. Look, I normally am a part of the enjoying critical analysis and being a hater FC, but I'm not gonna lie, get off my dick. But over the past few weeks, I've been gradually getting more and more pissed off by these niggas, so I'ma give backstory and get straight into complaining. So, as we all know, John Cena is retiring in a little under 2 months, and his final match will be in Washington, D.C., after previously being in his hometown of Boston, but mysteriously being moved to D.C. for some odd, inexplicable reason, but it's in D.C. And I don't live that far away from D.C., which would have made it possible to attend. And I heard tickets was going on sale, so after work, I opened up my computer expecting to get the jump on some prices, and that shit said $350 for a nosebleed seat. I said, what? Ripped the Naruto poster off my wall. Not that Naruto has anything to do with it, but because I needed some shit to rip off the wall for dramatic effect, booted up my equipment, and here we are. I got me a few fucking complaints about this company, and y'all are gonna sit here and listen, agree and laugh, and then in the end you're gonna like, share, and subscribe. You get me? Let's go. Alright, man, let's get down this list. I'ma give credit where credit is due. Noseman and his goons was in they bag 2023, all of 2024, but this year, they've been on straight bullshit. CM Punk been chasing the title since he got back, and it finally looks like it's his year. Roman Reigns, the last real draw, probably the biggest star to come after Cena. And John Cena, the biggest star in wrestling ever. Do you know who won this match? Jey Uso. 4 of the biggest stars in the company today, and they gave that shit to the wrestling equivalent of some Jordan 6 rings. Nigga, what are we doing? Why the fuck was Logan Paul and Jey Uso in the last 3 to win this shit, my nigga? Like, bro, I want y'all to fully grasp the damage that this is doing to the youth, because it's crazy. It's finna be a whole generation of kids that grow up thinking Yeet is some 40-year-old man waving his arms and not the fucking rapper or the original dance that said rapper is named after. We are losing recipes. The shit wouldn't even be a big deal if he could wrestle, but he doesn't have a single move unique to him. And the nigga just can't wrestle like that, bruh. Like, the best comparison I can give is, imagine if the NBA, for some odd ass reason on a random ass Sunday, decided that Thanasis Antetokounmpo, not Giannis, his older brother, was gonna be the face of the league. And to add insult to injury, the whole league was in on this psyop trying to convince the people that he was actually one of the best in the league. That's how I feel about Jey Uso, bro. Like, I ain't got nothing against him as a person, but shit, the nigga ass, bro. He fucking sucks. Oh, if you hate Jey Uso, then just say that. Nobody cares. 4 letters, 1 word, In the 37 years of the Royal Rumble's existence, 36 out of the 37 winners have gone on to main event WrestleMania. Why the fuck was Jey Uso the opening match on night 1, mind you? Cause he trashed. I rest my case. The Intercontinental Championship shit was cool, but it should have gone no further than that. Look at this Mickey ass chokehold, dog. Why is the top heel tapping out to this baby ass shit in seconds, bruh? Brother, yuck. P.U. That shit stinks. And don't even get me started on the Women's Rumble, bruh. Niggas been trying to sell me on Nia Jackson's Fortnite Season 2, and it just hasn't worked, bruh. Why is she eliminating like 8 people? 8 hoopers at that. All this just for another government-mandated Charlotte Championship match. And I'ma just say, I personally have Charlotte as the 2nd best female wrestler in the history of the Fed behind Asuka. But let's be real, she's been in Celtic Shaq mode since like after Mania 39, bro. Hey Charlotte, we're good. Io, Rhea, and Bianca, they're here, okay? We're good. And then to add insult to injury, bald man H had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the gumption to drop an hour-long highlight reel of this shit, man. And both matches ended up being some hot ass. Moving on, man. I want to preface this next segment by saying this may come off slightly biased because she is my favorite wrestler as of right now, but we got to talk about Io Sky for a second. Again, man, if you was tapped in on the Twitter, you would already know this. But for the ones that ain't, I'ma just reiterate what I be saying on there. I got Asuka and Charlotte at the 1 and the 2 right now, only because they've been there longer, and in Asuka's case, there is no Io without her. But make no mistake, she's better than both of them. The same way I talk about LeBron James is the same way I talk about her. I do actively push the pro-genius of the Sky agenda, and because of that, I gotta complain about that title reign, bro. I am recording this video on October 16, 2025. Exactly 1 year ago, Io Sky was fighting for the Speed Championship, and within 6 months of that, she was the Women's World Champion and arguably the most over person in the company, right? She wins the Mania match and gets 5 stars, and for 2 weeks after that, she's looked like she's about to go on a generational championship run. And then the next week, Triple H pulled her to the side and said, "Hey, we need somebody to go work catering." Backstage segments for 7 straight weeks. Yes, nigga, I was counting. Could have had a nice little feud with Roxanne. Could have boxed with Stephanie a few times to build her up. Same with Julia. But nah, they said, we short a PA. Go get you a headset and a walkie and clock in. So all of summer, damn near, I'm sitting here watching AI-generated mid-card matches because Hunter can't handle the fact that somebody is more over than mommy is always on top. And then the lead up to Evolution had me going insane, bro. I'm getting excited for Io getting more than 20 seconds of screen time. Meanwhile, Rhea, who lost Money in the Bank, lost Queen of the Ring in round 1, mind you, and then was beefing with Raquel Rodriguez, but then was like, you know what? I want the title that I lost and failed to win back 2 times. And then they had Io walk out there and be like, I want to be the best, so that is why I, the champion, must beat you, Rhea Ripley. What? And every time she went for the pin, I was like, oh, hell no. They better fucking not do this shit. Now, don't get it twisted. I do not hate Rhea. In fact, I really fuck with her. It's her fans that I can't stand, because half them niggas is gooners, and you can't reason with gooners. I'm sitting in the arena watching arguably the greatest women's match in the company's history, and right hand to God, the nigga on my left, every time she hit a move, was looking over at me saying, yeah, that's my wife. Let's go, Rhea, my baby. And his actual girl is sitting right next to him on his left, dog. So now I gotta hate watch Rhea during the match because I can't let this shit prevail. That's principle, my nigga. Now, obviously, we know what happens from there, but fast forward to WrestlePalooza. It's Steph versus Io, and as big of a matchup that is, WrestlePalooza was on like September 20th, I think, and the last time they interacted with one another before that was August 11th, before the match was ever announced, bruh. And now we back in the Rhea vortex, but at least this time the Kabuki Warrior storyline ain't that bad, so I'm hoping they just don't have Rhea and Io beat them every time, but we'll see, because if anybody can fuck some shit up, it is him. And to prove that point correct, all I have to do is bring up John Cena. This is the most mind-boggling shit I have ever seen in my life, dog. A John Cena farewell tour should have been like the easiest thing they've ever had to do, bro. The vibes after Elimination Chamber, bro, it was like those win probability meters on ESPN. Like, it was at 99.9, my nigga. No way, statistically, could they have fucked this up. The biggest star in not only the company, but the sport itself's history, and these motherfuckers were in the writer's room like, okay, so we got Randy, Punk, and of course another Cody match. We got about 5 to 6 matches to fill. You know what, let's throw Logan Paul in there.
Okay, that's smart. I'm fucking with that.
Hold on, wait a minute, guys. I've got something even better. Let's give him Logan Paul 3 times.
Oh shit, write that down.
John Cena, being a good soldier, a good Samaritan, has been such a detriment to this run, because if a nigga got up and told me I gotta spend 50% of my retirement tour fighting bots and playing a character I've never played before, and one whose journey was not thought out further than the shocking reveal, somebody would have got their ass whooped, and it would not have been the people they had me fighting. I will, however, give them credit for scrapping the whole heel thing, because it gave Cena and the retirement tour new life, only for it to immediately be killed by this fucking stooge. For those who don't know, Brock Lesnar is named 44 times in an active SASH lawsuit. Regardless, they sent him and Mr. McMahon to the shadow realm the second that shit went public. Like, whatever they had him on there doing, it's very obvious that he either did, or it's like very likely that he did that shit. And after 3 years of the business thriving without probably the most overrated wrestler in like the history of the company, Triple H thought to himself, how can I make this shit that's already in the mud even worse? And when this shit happened, I got online and made it very clear that I was not happy about it, and they was in the comments calling me woke, stupid lib, the F slur, the N-word, everything but a child of God. And my whole thing was like, bro, let's pretend this lawsuit doesn't exist, right? The exploitation never occurs. Gun to the back of your head though, name 5 good Brock Lesnar matches since WrestleMania 31. Everybody dying. I don't care about his collegiate wrestling and football background. I don't care that he was a part of the OVW golden generation. I don't. Nobody wants to see 16 suplexes and 7 F5s. He has no fucking bag, bro. We have progressed past the need for this shit, bro. It's 2025. It's almost 2026. And the same people that had so much to say could not be found for WrestlePalooza, because I was right. He hit 6 F5s and won in 6 minutes, bro. And after no bill and no rematch set up for a future date, and he won't be back no time soon, so we just wasted everybody's time. Luckily for us though, that bullshit and ESPN rating the pay-per-view as a whole, F finally made Big Match John that he had to start politicking, and things do seem to be back on track, so at least that's nice. Now, my last take is more of a serious one, not gonna lie. I fucking hate TKO. I want the company to go bankrupt and die. All my homies hate TKO. For those that don't know, TKO is the parent company of WWE, as well as the UFC. I don't really watch UFC for one, because I don't really find combat sports that interesting, but also because as of late, it's essentially just turned into a right-wing pep rally. And a lot of that falls on the UFC, but I think those same traits are rubbing off on WWE. They got unfunny comedians who made horrendous remarks about Puerto Rico and other people and places during a roast session under the WWE banner, a whole multiverse of fake-ass luchadors that so conveniently showed up after it was announced and hailed from the Gulf of America, quote-unquote. They don't do shit for Black History Month, despite some of their most prominent talent being black, but of course we gotta have a week-long Hulk Hogan tribute, despite nobody on the roster outside of like 4 people giving a fuck. And look, in the world, you need a cup of some serious mud,
That's gotta
brother.
be racist.
I think that cancels out a lot of what you did in the ring. And now we have 2 separate occasions where the acting COO or whatever Triple H is being seen chopping it up, chilling with the most corrupt, fascist people in our lifetime. And you know, I like some of the Triple H booking decisions. What the fuck does he know about government? And now it's even being reported that the main reason for them even moving Cena's last match from John Cena's hometown to Washington was specifically so that members of the Trump administration could attend. Like, you see what I mean with this right-wing grift shit, bro? And the thing that really pisses me off is that MAGA has proven on several occasions that they have no real political stance. They flip-flop between talking points and constantly push shit that hurts their own supporters. What MAGA is about, what the people behind it want most, is to dominate culture. That is why they wage war on some of the most minuscule things like the Super Bowl halftime show or television and shit like that. That is why every piece of American culture they get their hands on just becomes like their pep rally. They want to be at the forefront of culture. Make America Great Again is not about any point in history when things were great economically or, you know, like whatever. The slogan refers to the times where pop culture was dominated by people the same color as my palm. And to see these media outlets and entertainment entities such as WWE, a place where its best wrestler is a Japanese woman. The biggest faction since The Shield was an all-Samoan group. Its 3 biggest young stars are black. The current women's champion is Chilean. No, to see the company that has all of that bend the knee to an administration that is so hateful and corrosive is extremely depressing to watch. You know, wrestling fans are such a diverse group of people, and shit like this is just a blatant slap in the face. Not only though is the right-wing grift crazy, but these are some money-hungry bastards. They have this absolute obsession with ratings and revenue. Like, yes, obviously those things are important to a television show, but they literally live and die by them. They insist upon having as many eyes on their stuff as possible, which is precisely why you are going to need to pay $12 for a Netflix subscription to watch Raw and $30 for a subscription to ESPN's new streaming app, even though you can already stream shit before the streaming app, to watch pay-per-views. And if you want to come to one of our events, get ready to pay as much as you do for your card note, buddy. Oh, you think our prices are too high, nigga? Well, actually, they aren't high enough. The last guy in charge, he was a real weirdo. He wanted to make something affordable for families. Yeah, we don't fuck with that, okay? We need your money, bro. You want to see Pat McAfee and Logan Paul duke it out? You will give us thousands of dollars. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I'm really not, because the CEO of TKO genuinely said some shit like this, bro. And as far as the ratings thing, they are so insistent on counter-programming AEW, like it's crazy. They literally made a pay-per-view out of thin air, and outside of one match, it was ass. Meanwhile, the AEW that happened like hours before had banger after banger after banger. Now, it's very obvious that what they're trying to do is break into the mainstream and be in the conversation with the actual sports, but there's 2 things wrong with that. The thing about something becoming mainstream is it's met with a lot of casual interest, meaning whatever you give an audience, they're gonna fuck with it just because it's the dominant thing culturally. Case in point, I know he's been, negatively in the headlines for like the past year and it's looking bleak right now, but I still kind of fuck with Drake, right? But that nigga has made the exact same album, every album since Scorpion, and that shit dropped 8 years ago. And every album he's put out since Scorpion has gone #1. I give you another one. Taylor Swift just put out one of, if not the worst written albums I have ever heard in my fucking life. And her shit is #1 right now. It did 4 fucking million sales, son. There is no incentive for them to change, improve, or go in a different direction. All they gotta do is make shit for the NPCs and they printing money. Secondly, the very reason WWE got to where it is today was because it was not the NBA or it was not the NFL. Yeah, niggas catching a 60-yard touchdown and pulling from 30 feet out is cool, but is Justin Jefferson gonna hit you with an elbow drop? Is Steph jumping off a 30-foot ladder like Jeff Hardy? Wrestling was and is still cool because it's alternative. And when you ignore the stuff that makes it what it is to appeal to people who don't even watch it in the first place, that's when shit begins to stop working out. It's real hoopers on that roster. Carmelo Hayes, Dragunov, Kyrie saying, why the fuck am I watching Jelly Roll fight Logan Paul on the 2nd biggest show of the year, bro? That's not necessary for success. And if you want proof of that, look no further than Evolution a few months ago. There were 6 or 7 matches on that card, and not a single one of them had a proper build. Literally, the main event build was, I'm the champion, but I must beat the strongest. Rhea Ripley, let's fight, nigga. That was the build. Despite this, every single match that night, bang! The crowd was hot and engaged the entire night, and how do I know? Because I was fucking there. The company treated this shit like a B-show the whole way through, bro, and that led to tickets for everything around the event being affordable. I got to meet Io Sky and get some tickets that were fairly close to the ring for me and my younger brother, who had never seen wrestling before, for less than $170, bro. The people around us were debating who's better or who was gonna win the match. It was a group of girls a couple rows down who I had seen at the meet and greet earlier in full fucking costume, cosplaying different wrestlers. The point I'm trying to make is the way to success as a company with product is to gear your shit to the people who already support you. AEW has done this almost perfectly. And that is why you see AEW getting bigger and bigger and beginning to pose a real threat to WWE in year 6. Stardom, an all-women's promotion in Japan, just aired a pay-per-view event live for free like a couple weeks ago on YouTube to attract more fans from across the globe. And you know, because of the time difference, you would think people would be turned off by a 10:30 p.m. start time, but it ended up being their most viewed event ever. And people who had never watched Stardom before got exposed to a whole new style of wrestling. This is some advice that I think anybody who is trying to put any type of thing out into the world, bro. You will never go wrong appealing to the people that are genuinely interested in what you got going on versus trying to get John and Jane Doe to like your stuff. And that is something that I think WWE is going to have to learn the hard way by the way it's looking right now, bro. I got another Transformers video coming out at some point in the next week or so y'all get ready for that. But yeah, that's all I got for today, man. Peace.